welcome to another episode of the Mission TV show. It's a really amazing time here. We're broadcasting directly from a booth on the showroom floor, the exhibit hall floor. There's like 350 booths in this area, lots of people. Supposedly this weekend there's going to be like 60,000 Adventists all gathered here at this in San Antonio, Texas for the 60th General Conference session. And what's beautiful about being here is that we can meet so many amazing people that are out making an impact for the cause of Christ. And one of those is my good friend Rodney Bowes. And Rodney, you've been working with Light for 10 years now?
Yeah, I have been working with Light since its very beginning. It officially started in 2008, but we've been doing that type of work for about 10 years.
10 years, you and your wife together?
My wife and I, we travel together as much as is possible. Yeah.
And what does LIGHT stand for?
LIGHT is the Lay Institute for Global Health Training.
Okay, so you're reaching out using the right arm of the gospel, the health message, to enter into new fields and new territories.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you know, LIGHT is specifically focused on training church members that are in the area so that they can use health as an effective way to reach out into their community. So over the past 7 years or so, we've been able to train 15,000 pastors and lay members to take a hold of medical missionary work.
Wow, 15,000.
15,000.
That's fantastic. That means you're pretty much done.
Not a chance.
With those kind of numbers, I mean, what more is there to do? What's left?
There is a tremendous amount to be done. I mean, as we look around the world field, we see the Adventist Church is definitely growing in some areas, but there is so much more work to be done. You know, recently we have been looking at some specific and strategic locations in the world field that we'd really like to get involved, and that's the 1040 window. The work, you know, is somewhat slow there. It's not as fast as we would like it to be.
Correct. You know, I just heard the statistic yesterday that 96% of all Christian giving goes to the 7% that speak English.
Wow.
So
that's quite a number. And we see that. We definitely see that on the front lines. It's when I go, I tell people, you know, Satan has two ways to work. One way is that he overloads people with literature. Like here in the U.S., you know, we get tons of mail, and then other places of the world, there's a complete dearth. I mean, there's almost nothing. No Bibles, no Spirit of Prophecy books. It's just so limited.
What specific areas have you seen of the world that are that kind of situation?
Well, you know, when I travel throughout Africa, it is very common that you can go into a whole village and they have a tiny library of just, you know, a few little books that are there. They don't have the whole Conflict of the Ages series. They don't have the whole Bible.
Wow.
You know, places like that. And then throughout India, when we go there, there's so many different languages, and also, you know, we've had a special focus on the Middle East. It's really caught my attention. And as I've been talking with the leaders that are there, our church is very small in the Middle East. We really need to have a focus on the Middle East, an intentional way, because their literature, they're using books that were printed 50 years ago.
Right.
And they need more literature.
And language evolves.
It does.
Through time. And,
definitely.
Might be hard for people to read books that are they even in print?
No, they're from the old press. And so, you know,
print with the
I don't know exactly what kind of press, but as I was talking, exactly. So, you know, we're trying to work with these places that need more resources. So we have a training manual at Light that our goal is to have it translated into as many languages as possible. And so it's a 360-page document. It's a training manual full from A to Z on health evangelism or medical missionary work.
Fantastic. Kind of like a frontline guide.
Exactly.
Wow. Where there's no doctor type of thing?
Similar. Yeah, we cover all of the basic things that include health classes, you know, practical things like hydrotherapy and massage and natural remedies, and a lot of health prevention kind of techniques.
Okay, so healthy lifestyle.
Healthy
what not
lifestyle,
to eat.
exactly.
You should wash your hands.
We have a whole course on nutrition and we have one on common diseases that we find very practical for people who are right there on the front lines.
Correct. So you have just been traveling in a new area that you've found very stimulating and exciting. Can you tell me about that?
Definitely. I've had the privilege of working together with the Chinese Union Mission on several different projects to do health education. Another ministry that I'm working with is Health Education Resources, and we produce the beautiful set of Health Expo banners that we have culturalized, and they're in 40 languages. Not enough to really make a dent. We'd love to see these materials translated and distributed worldwide on massive scale, thousands.
Yes.
That each center of influence, each church, each whatever it might be, hospital, could have a set of these to introduce people to healthy lifestyle, because we know that's the entering wedge.
Yes.
So we're working together with the China Union Mission, and recently I also was in Vietnam. And that's another challenging field. So it was so exciting to see people coming from all over Vietnam to a light training course.
Wonderful.
That we were able to do in partnership with the mission.
No, well, that's wonderful. Now, you mentioned the 40 languages. That sounds like a lot of languages. How many languages are there in the world?
I'm not 100% sure that anyone really knows the answer to that question. Because, for example, in Papua New Guinea, we know that there's 800 alone just in that little area.
Yeah.
So, the numbers, you can see the numbers. Some of them are, 17,000, something like that.
Wow.
I've seen different numbers in that regard. So we have a lot of work to be done.
A lot of work.
A lot of work to be done.
Yeah, and so sometimes it seems overwhelming,
It can.
But I think about what, when we talk about it, we should be missionaries. We should send more missions. A lot of people say, well, not everyone can go. That's like the number one quoted Ellen White statement.
That is, I hear it all the time.
But so I think, though, that more could go than are going.
A lot more could go.
And do you think 10% would be too large of a number? 10% of our workforce, of our young people, of our older people, or middle-aged people, of our membership? Do you think 10% would be too much to send for God's work?
Not at all. Not at all. As I continue to look and consider the needs of the world field, and as I interact with people in North America, in the United States and so forth, I see so many of them caught up in just living life as usual.
Yeah, day to day.
Day to day. And, to be honest, it seems like a lot of people are really enslaved to the life that they're living.
Got their mortgage,
They don't
payment.
feel fulfilled either.
There's something missing.
There's something missing, and it's mission. And certainly the United States is a mission field.
Yes.
So what I always encourage everyone to do is to be a missionary 24 hours a day, no matter where they live.
Yes.
That means that wherever God puts you in the world field, you work your time that you're awake in your local area doing missions, and you sponsor someone else around the world. And I believe a lot more people could be overseas.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
I'm always looking for missionaries. Part of my job as the director for Light is to try to find people who are willing to go.
Right.
And sometimes it's a lot easier to find people to give a little money than to get on an airplane and to go.
Yes.
But the way I got started in mission was actually, I went as a student missionary. And I encourage every young person to at least go as a student missionary, starting off for 9 months to 1 year, and let the Lord lead from there. I've been in it ever since. That was 16 years ago now.
That was your entering wedge.
That was my entering wedge to missionary work. That's exactly right.
Yeah. But let's say we had 10% of our membership from North America go as missionaries. That's 110,000 missionaries.
Right.
That would take care of the 7,000 or 17,000 languages still left out there.
Right.
Pretty easily.
Well, what's so interesting, though, as well, is that our world church dynamic is now such that we are sending a lot of missionaries from Africa. sending them from China. So, the world field is very unique now. Everyone needs to be involved in mission.
Yes.
And cross-cultural missions can be so powerful.
Yes.
It can be such a blessing.
Yeah.
So if let's just say that every division would have the idea of missions to the unreached, and everyone sent 10% of the membership.
Yes.
Because we have divisions in the church that are much larger than the NAD.
Yes.
If the whole world church would catch a hold of the vision of reaching the unreached, what a different... the work could be finished like that.
Very quickly.
Very quickly.
Very quickly. And
No
I
doubt.
believe that the local church needs a foreign mission field.
I believe it.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Because you get when you start going cross-cultural, you have to figure out, okay, what's really important in the gospel.
That's right.
And what's cultural.
That's right.
And you get this iron sharpens iron thing.
Very true.
And you get the enthusiasm, people coming back and saying, this is what's happening.
Very true.
In my field.
That's right.
And there's something about becoming a missionary, going as a missionary. You identify yourself, I'm a missionary.
Right.
I better do missionary things. Whereas for me anyway, when I come home, I'm at home.
I'm at home. Let me do home things.
Yeah, exactly. Which is just taking care of myself and my family.
Right.
So what do you see happening in China? What is the feeling and the sense and church and growth that you see happening in China?
Well, it is so exciting to see what is going on in regard to the spread of the gospel. I mean, if you would to go to the China Union Mission website, it's available for anyone to look at. And they highlight some of the things that go on. Media is big. Many of us have heard about Doug Batchelor being able to go in and do a full series and preach the gospel, 15 nights of presentations in China.
Fantastic. I didn't hear that.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
AmazingFacts.org website. They'll tell you about that. And it was remarkable to see how God is opening doors in a place that for many years has been very closed. It was the first time that a foreigner was able to come and to do a full series.
Amazing.
And so that's really opened the way for everyone to get involved in different ways. And the Chinese Union Mission is looking for partners. I mean, they want to use the resources and work together. For many years, people have just kind of tried to go into China on their own. But if we work together with the Union Mission, they know the people, they know where to go, they know how to operate well. And so we encourage that. And so I've seen great things happening.
Okay.
And recently I was also with ASI to do the New Beginnings training. And just to see that also catch on and to see the churches in China filled with people who are interested to know how they can share the gospel.
Praise the Lord.
It's been encouraging.
Praise the Lord. So what is the China Union Mission website? Do you have that?
I think it's CHUM Adventist, something like that.
Okay, we'll just do a Google.
Just do a search for China Adventist Union Mission.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to get this training, this light training,
yes,
what would be the cheapest way to get that?
Well, Light's goal, we're a ministry, and it is our desire to train every member of the church to take hold of medical missionary work.
Okay.
That's a quotation directly from Ellen White in Testimonies for the Church, Volume 7, page 62.
Saying that every member should take
every
hold
member,
of that.
every member.
And
so
that's your touchstone.
That's our goal.
What drives you.
That's right.
Okay.
So what we will do is, if there is a group around the world, if there's a conference, if there is a local church that wants to gather a group of 20 to 200 or more people to come together to do a training, we will work together with them, and the cost is very affordable because we will provide our ticket to get there.
Wow.
They just have to take care of the local logistics that are on the ground.
Okay.
We're not charging for this. We're just going. That's our ministry.
Praise the Lord.
For people here in North America or for Europe or for many other places where life is busy, we have the training available online.
Okay.
So they just go to our website, lightingtheworld.org,
Okay.
and they'll find that they can sign up and start being a medical missionary immediately. They can take our course that way.
Fantastic.
And it's available in several languages right now.
Okay.
It's the major languages that we are working in right now is English, Spanish. We have Korean that's coming up very soon, and Portuguese.
Fantastic.
So.
Wow. You know, I saw an amazing demonstration of the difference of the impact that this can make. When I was in Thailand a few years ago, I watched an evangelistic series that cost about $20,000 to put on, and 2 people showed up.
2 people?
2 people.
Wow.
And then I watched Health Expo, downtown Bangkok, same amount of money, 2,000 people showed up.
Right.
Registered.
Right.
A lot more showed up and went through and got a little bit of information, and then out of that, 400 people signed up requesting further spiritual studies.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And we've been told it's the entering wedge.
Yes.
You know, it's the right arm of the gospel message.
Right.
And so, you know, if you want to see pictures or if people want to look online, just go to lightingtheworld.org. We have a blog that continues to show these pictures from around the world.
Wonderful. And you could go there right now while you're watching this, lightingtheworld.org. And Rodney, I just want to thank you and praise God for your work.
Oh, it's been a blessing.
For your dedication. Speaking of blessings, do you find a blessing in doing God's work?
Like none other in the world. You know, I have been involved in this work since I went as a student missionary. Ever since then, you know, the Lord has just put that passion in my heart, and I know that when I am doing that work, I'm fulfilled. When I'm not doing that, there's something missing in life. If I'm not sharing the gospel,
start complaining.
All kinds of things can happen.
Yeah, so this is why we're encouraging you to also get involved with God's work. It's like a feast. God has spread a spiritual banquet in the unreached people groups around the world and in your own neighborhood and your own home. This is a fantastic way to get involved, to get the training that you can help people without coming across as some spiritual or whatever. You know, it just opens doors. When they see that you care for them in a way that works and blesses and improves their lives, then they're open to learn more. If you know these laws about the physical world that work, maybe you know some laws about the spiritual world that will also work. And so I want to encourage you, lightingtheworld.org. Contact Rodney, contact the team there, and see if you can put together something that will be able to bless your local community and maybe a local community on the other side of the world. You know, this world is so small. Within 24 hours, you can get just about anywhere in the world. And there's a and everyone is now our neighbor. We can choose our neighbors. And so God bless you until we meet again next time on the Mission TV show. Again, we're broadcasting live here from the exhibit hall floor at the General Conference session in San Antonio, Texas. God bless.